Welcome in, Envy. How are you doing? Just getting started here. Once I confirm the YouTube is working as well, we shall begin momentarily. Welcome in, T-Man. Welcome in, Rolo. Welcome in, Fanboy. Thanks for stopping by. Just getting started here. Begin inking momentarily. Appreciate y'all checking in. How is everybody's Sunday evening going so far? All right. So here's the plan for this evening. I've got this sketch cover here, Detective Comics 1000. I've already done pencils on it. I'm just going to go through. We're going to lay some inks down on it this evening. Welcome to hang out and watch the process. Shoot any questions, comments, any chat along the way if you like. I will periodically check in with the chat. I'm flying solo on this stream, so I'll kind of go in spurts. I'll probably have my head down focused on the sketch for a while, and then I'll pop up and check on the chat and see how everybody's doing. I do have this book pinned at the bottom in case anybody likes how it comes across. It will be available for purchase once we finish up. Otherwise, I have some other items in the bin already. So if you're curious about any of those, feel free to take a look. And if you see anything you like, go for it. Hey, Fanboy, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you giving me a follow there. I also do have another show scheduled for tomorrow. So I have another sketchbook or another sketch cover lined up, Gargoyles cover that I'll do on tomorrow's stream. Originally, I thought I might try to tackle both of them tonight, but I don't want to rush myself on Batman here. So we're going to give Detective here my full attention this evening, and then we'll just see how it goes. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let's get started. I actually lay some India ink down on this one. I was thinking I might attempt an ink wash with it as well, but I'm not sure I'm going to go that route. By the way, for anybody who's new here, my name is Chris. I like to draw stuff periodically. I haven't been on in a while. Trying to get better about that. But periodically, I like to hop on to Whatnot and invite you to hang out with me at the drawing table as I work on a few pieces. Can get a sense of the types of things I like to draw by some of the items that are in the bin. So feel free to check that out if you are so inclined. So my plan for this sketch, at least, we'll see how well it executes. But I want to lay down what you're seeing here, some India ink with brush for at least some of these larger swatches of shading. but I'm going to probably switch over to liner pens as well to get into some of those finer details. So fingers crossed. Welcome into Talic Bird. You're having a good Sunday. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Let me be careful as I work around. Might be pushing my luck with this brush a little bit. I know I should switch over to some smaller ones, but not quite yet. I'm going to probably go back over and do another layer of this India ink as well, just to really feel like the tone is even. If you happen to be tuning in over on YouTube, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by as well. I will admit I tend to pay closer attention to my Whatnot discussion while the show is live. Every so often I will try to just pop over to YouTube. But if you're over there, if you're watching, welcome. Please don't feel neglected if you're chatting and I don't see it right away. Welcome in, Mateo. How are you doing this evening? All right, I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Welcome in, Space Cowboy. Welcome in, Chef Jedi. And welcome in to anybody else who I might have missed. I am just getting warmed up here with this Detective Comics. I've done a couple of swipes at it with some India ink. I'm going to let it sit for a second before I accidentally smudge something. And then we'll get back in and probably I'm going to focus on the cape still for a little bit more. And then we may move into the cowl area. At the moment, I'm using some super black India ink, and I'm just using a basic little brush here for getting in those larger swatches of black. I will come back in with a liner. I've also got some finer detail brushes that I'll come in and do some stuff with. But for right now, I'm just kind of filling in the cape a bit with that. Welcome in, Atari Solid. How's your Sunday going? All right. I did toy with the idea of maybe trying to incorporate some ink wash into this piece. I'm still on the fence, though. Let me see how the solid darks come out first. And actually, I've probably just committed to the solid darks. But I could always come back in with a... uh-oh, sounds like my pup is getting into some trouble in the background. I need to go check on that. Sit tight, folks. Sit tight, folks. Let me see what's going on. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. But... You okay? What's going on? Your stuff? All right. Sounds like they've got that under control. Hey, D-Sal, welcome in. The joys of puppy ownership. All right. Okay. I think I'm about to retire this brush for the evening. Welcome in, Jayhawk. How you doing, sir? Hope you're having a nice weekend. I'm doing all right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Just diving into a cover here on a Sunday night. Hoping not to mess it up too badly. But things are going good over in this neck of the woods. All right, I'm going to wipe off this brush. Switch over to something else here. All right. Let's try a little bit of a finer point here and just clean up some of these folds a little bit. Actually, I'm using, what's it, watercolor or regular paint? So what I'm using here tonight, I have, it's an inking brush. Yep, I've just got some super black India ink. And then right now I've just got this guy that I'm using just to go in for some finer details. I'm just laying some India ink down for some of the larger swatches, at least when then going in with some of these folds on the cape. I will come back in with a liner brush for some additional details and a little bit of cross hatching here and there. But to start, I've become a little bit of an art supply hoarder in my years here, and so I've got a few bottles of India ink that I just really need to use. So I thought this cover would probably be good for that. After I started getting more dependent or at least more comfortable with the different liner pens and markers and things, I kind of shied away from my actual bottles of India ink a little bit. And I just want to come in and see what this looks like. So we'll see how it turns out. Could be cool, or it could be a disaster. You decide. News at 11. And I do have another show also lined up tomorrow. I have some time on my hands tomorrow, so I thought it would be good just to try to dust off these shows a little bit. Thank you, Jayhawk. I appreciate that. This part I figured was probably the safe route to start with, because once I get into the cowl and the face, it's little less room for error there. You know what I mean? So I'll start here, and then we'll see what happens next. It's weird too. Like, I feel like at this stage, I should already know all of the ways that I'm going to ink a piece, but there's still a few things that are I'm kind of on the fence on. So I'm just going to see what happens. Hey, Tunnel Rat, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good evening and a good weekend. And it should be a fun show. Thanks, Jayhawk. You too. Appreciate you tuning in for a few minutes here. Appreciate you stopping by. Okay. Okay. Welcome in, Akuz. Welcome in, Spartan John. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Just putting the cap on some ink here. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And then we'll go to what's next. All right. Let's try switching to Zoom for a little bit. We'll see. Actually, as we get into the cowl here, I'm going to move over to some liner pens, I think. Thinking out loud here, folks. Bear with me. Sometimes I talk to myself while I'm drawing. Anybody else do that? Anybody else talk to themselves while they work? Okay. Welcome in, Whiskey. You're having a good evening. Okay, let me try something real quick. Hang on one second, folks. Just trying to do something off to the side here. Okay. I know if that's annoying or not. And oh, I'm getting audio back now from this one. Let me. All right, so I had to mute that. Let that go. All right. Forgot I had 2 extra live streams going, so mute that one too. Welcome in, Mr. McGiblets. McGiblets, how are you? And anybody who I might have missed, welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you hanging out while we work on inking this sketch cover. Okay. Come back in with a little bit of ink. Welcome in, WAP 108. How are you doing this evening? I hope everybody's having a nice weekend. Welcome in, Burns Bemis. Sorry, my eyes are getting a little crossed here. Burns 1968. Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by. Welcome in, Eric. Thanks for checking out the drawing table tonight. Let me know too if you are watching. I've got some music in the background, which is new for these streams. It's just a little lo-fi thing that's playing off of YouTube. If that's annoying, let me know. Or welcome in, A. Maston. Sometimes, though, I feel like it's probably a little too quiet on my end. And sometimes it's nice to have a little music while you work. Welcome in, Drex. How are you doing this evening? Welcome in, Network Sith. Hope your weekend's going well. All right, I'm going to let that sit for a second. Let it do its thing, and then we'll see. See what's next. Welcome in, John Wayne. How are you doing? For anybody who is new here this evening, who has just stopped in, if you haven't checked out the notes, I'm just working on this, inking this cover tonight. If you're interested, it will be available after it's complete. I also have some other items in the bin: sketch cards, sketch covers, sticky note drawings, even copies of Ice Canyon Monster issue number 3, which I drew the cover for, or at least the one cover that I did draw the cover for. There's stuff like that in the bin if you're interested. That will also give you kind of a sense of the type of work I do if you're new here and you're not familiar. Otherwise, welcome. Love having you all hang out and visit as I work here this evening. Welcome in, Cisco. How are you doing this evening? Welcome in, Tech. How are you doing this evening? Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, thanks, Michaels. I just happened to pop over to YouTube. I saw that comment from you. Very nice. I'm not sure if you're still there or not, but I appreciate you watching, and thanks for the kind words. Have a nice night. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you. Appreciate it. Just heads up that I don't tend to monitor that as actively as I do the whatnot during the live streams. So I do appreciate you watching, and hopefully I don't offend you if I don't respond too quickly to different things that are going on over there. Welcome in Contact. Welcome in Emmett. Welcome in RB. And anybody else who I might have missed, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate y'all hanging out. If you happen to like this kind of stuff, I have another stream scheduled tomorrow. I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be inking a Gargoyles cover that I've started. So I'll be inking Goliath on that one. Figured I'd just give that one its own stream tomorrow just so I could focus tonight on The Dark Knight and see how this one goes. Where is everybody watching from tonight? I am based in Southeast Florida, Port St. Lucie, Florida to be exact, which is, if you're unfamiliar, it's east coast of Florida. It's kind of in between Orlando and Palm Beach, roughly. If you happen to like baseball at all, we are the spring training home for the New York Mets. They should probably be beginning to arrive in the next few weeks, I would imagine. That's always fun, even if you're not necessarily the biggest baseball fan. It's always kind of fun out at the stadium out here, just to roam around, see other fans. You know, there's some pretty colorful characters that like to come and roam around and see, and then you get pretty close views and access to some of those folks. So it's, especially if the day's nice and you're off from work, you can roam around and just enjoy a day at the park. Welcome in, Ant. Welcome in, Codis. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. Appreciate you spending a few minutes of it with me. think I'm probably about had it with brushes for this one. I think I might go back to some pens here and try to get those situated. So I was using, if for anybody who's interested, it's Speedball Super Black ink. And then I just had a few different little brushes that I was using in with that. All right. Welcome in, Eric. How are you doing this evening? And I'm still curious where everybody's watching from. Let me know. Drop it in the chat wherever you're viewing tonight's stream. Let's see how to start cleaning up some pencils without hopefully messing up too much of my ink. I'm not gonna be so rigid to try to get rid of all the pencils because that would probably be a little crazy. But I think I do want to try to clean it up just a smidge. And then I can always come back over with some more pen and go from there.
I'm Philomena, founder of Pin Apparel. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing.
Station break. If anybody is interested, this sketch cover is pinned to the stream. It is available if anybody would like to add it to their collection. I also have some additional items in the bin. I've got sketch cards, I've got sticky notes, I've got some other sketch covers I've drawn, and even a copy of Ice Canyon Monster issue number 3, which was published last year by Blood Moon Comics. I did one of the covers for that, and so I have one of those up for sale. If you order that, if you're so inclined, if you'd like, I can sign it for you and get it sent off your way. Also, if you see anything in the bin that you would have any questions about or that you would like to see live, let me know. I'm happy to grab it and let you have a good look at it. I haven't had to bust out any whiteout yet, but there's still time, I suppose. Like that little mark right there, I might hit with some whiteout. Welcome in, Cash. Hope you're having a good evening. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in. Almost going about an hour so far. Kind of still got a little bit left to do here, but making decent time. Welcome in, Double. How are you doing this evening? Where are you tuning in from? Welcome in, Chris. Hope you're having a good weekend. Appreciate everybody who is hanging out for a few minutes, watching as I put some inks down on the sketch cover. Putting some darks onto the Dark Knight. If you haven't seen one of my streams before, it's been a little while since I've had one, but my name's Chris. I am based in Southeast Florida. Just really enjoy drawing. Love sketch covers. Sketch covers and sketch cards have sort of become some of the things I really enjoy drawing on lately. In fact, if you check out my bin, you'll see a few different things that I've already done that are available there. Kind of give you an idea of the type of work I do as well. If we have any Batman fans in the room, if anybody's interested in this cover, it is available once I finish it up. It should be pinned at the bottom of the stream tonight. Otherwise, I have some other things in the bin, or you're welcome to just hang out and keep me company as I work. Sometimes it's fun just to have passerbys pop in from time to time, peek over your shoulder, see how it's coming along. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them in the chat. I can be a little hit or miss with checking the chat, depending on how focused I get on the sketch, but I do try to glance over at it periodically. Welcome in, Bob the Tomato. We're a little ways into the sketch, but thanks for tuning in. You're just in time to catch up. Sorry. Welcome in, G. How are you doing this fine evening? Welcome in, No Stressum. How are you doing? Here's where we are currently at with our sketch cover here. I did laid down some India inks. You can see we had a little bit of bleed through there, but that's why I stick a backer board in between just to minimize how far that goes. We did some brush work with some India ink, going back now with some liner pens and just kind of adding some touch up. But I think I'm getting pretty close to where I'm going to end up on this one. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has any comments, feel free to lob them in the chat. And welcome in, so appreciate you stopping by for a few minutes. I know there are lots of really fun art streams to see here, so I appreciate you stopping in on mine for a minute or two. Welcome in, Adam's Comic Shop. How the heck are you? Welcome in, Bake. How are you doing this evening? Where are you tuning in from tonight? I am just looking for a pen that I have misplaced, which is not a shock. Maybe it's in here. Actually, these might all be dead anyway. I have one giant ink liner that I was hoping to incorporate. And now I don't know where the dang thing is. Oh, it's right there. It was there the whole time. It was there the whole time, Chris. Okay. So I laid down some India ink with brush earlier, but I think I'm going to take this Pitt Artist Big Pen and just kind of go over a few of these areas again. Hey, Custom Cut, welcome in. How are you doing? Appreciate you stopping in for a few minutes. Do you have a stream tonight? Just coming in with some finishing touches on this guy. I think I'm just about wrapped up. Thanks, Custom Cut. I appreciate that. That is awful kind of you. Welcome in, Rav. How are you doing? I think I'm starting to wind down a little bit. I'm almost finished with this cover, and then I'm probably going to call it on tonight's stream. But I do have another show scheduled tomorrow, and I'll be working on a Gargoyles cover on that one. I have some pencils of Goliath that I will be going over and inking on that one. Thanks, Custom. Yeah, I like. I used to really like cross hatching growing up, and I've fallen away from it quite a bit. So I try to go back in and incorporate it when I can. I want to go back in and do a lot more of that on a piece. Not sure which one yet. This one has a little bit of it. But I'd like to go back in and just do one that is really built up from a ton of cross hatching. I just got to make sure I have the time and the patience for something like that. So I think for the gargoyles one tomorrow, and this one tonight, if you were here at the beginning, you saw me kind of laying down some large areas of India ink with a brush. We did a few different brushes with India ink on this one, and then I kind of went in with some liner pens, and now I'm using the big brush here to kind of just reinforce some of these blacks. Tomorrow I might jump back in with like alcohol markers and things and just do some grayscale and stuff that way on Goliath. I feel like he might work a little better with some of the different grayscale markers and maybe even some subtle color worked in. So we'll see how that one turns out. But for the Dark Knight here, I thought just kind of hitting them with some overall India ink was probably the way I wanted to go this evening. I appreciate everybody who has stopped by this evening, tuned in. Again, I do have this piece pinned to the bottom. Custom Cut says he prefers black and white. Yeah, I actually, so I, growing up and for the longest time, and actually probably still, I have preferred working in black and white. I was always hesitant to lay down color on a piece. Part of that is probably just because I was self-taught and didn't want to ruin it. Once I kind of picked up Photoshop and some technology that way, then I started doing my colors digitally. And now with markers and stuff, I'll go in and just kind of play around and try to add a little bit here and a little bit there. But I typically will work with black and white in mind. And then if I'm, at times I'll go in and start hitting it with some color here or there. I was thinking about trying to maybe incorporate some ink wash in this one, but then I just kind of ducked away from it. I didn't have a solid plan in mind, so then I just ended up going towards the little bit of crosshatch that you noted, and just stuck with the liner pens and everything that way. Welcome in, Schmoff. Welcome in, Saul. Welcome in, King. Welcome in anybody who I might have missed. I'll give you all a quick look at how this has shaped up. I think I'm probably going to leave it at that. I'll just throw my signature on here in a minute. I'm going to give the ink a little bit of a second to do its own thing. In the meantime, while that's doing that, this book is pinned at the bottom of tonight's show. So if anybody's interested, you can add that to your collection. Otherwise, I do have some other books, some sketch cards, some different things like that in the bin. If you would like, you can take a peek at those. I have a copy of Ice Canyon Monster issue number 3. This is the cover that I drew. This was published in 2024. In fact, if anybody's interested, I can show you those originals. If you don't mind bearing with me as for a second as I take this camera or this phone off of the stand. But this is some of the art that I have up in my studio. There's the pencils for that cover, and then printed over inked over blue lines. I have that version as well. And then there is another one of the covers. That one, I didn't do the colors on this one. Someone else did the colors. But there is the black and white, and those are the artwork. So that's a cover I did. I have one of those, I think, in the bin right now. If anybody is interested, you can pick that up. I will sign it for you if you'd like. Send it off on its merry way. Hey, Carrie. Hey, She-Hulk. Hey, everybody who is in this evening. If you're still hanging around, I appreciate it. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow doing another one of these. Where did I put that book? I can show it to you real quick. I think I have it buried with some others here. Moved a whole stack of books, so I think I moved it out of the way. Hey, Pisces. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody who I might have missed. So, wrapped up on that one tonight. Tomorrow's stream at, I believe it's set for 2 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and ink the Gargoyles cover. So tune in for that one if you are interested. If you like gargoyles, if you know somebody who does, yeah, we'll have some fun with that one too. Go ahead and throw my signature on this one, and then final questions. If anybody has any comments, any questions, feel free to toss those in the chat. Otherwise, I am probably going to wind down. And it is 2025 now. I gotta remember to put that in when I do these. All right, everybody. I am gonna sign off. I will be back tomorrow with that Gargoyles cover. Hey, Todd Father, welcome in. Sorry to be jumping off so soon, but thanks to everybody who hopped in here. We did about an hour and a half tonight. My streams don't really have a set time limit. I kind of just go as I go. But there we go. All right. Back in it. We got Batman done tomorrow. Gargoyles. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.